Welcome to Level Up Russellville, the show where we explore the great things happening to Russellville and the Arkansas River Valley. Sit back, relax, these opportunities are real, and you might even be able to take advantage of them yourself. Enjoy the episode. Crystal, you are not a career politician.
No, I'm not.
But here you are running as one, and you've been a mom, you are a mom, you've been an entrepreneur, a TikTok star, maybe?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So what brings this shift?
So my heartbeat is small business. I've been a small business owner for a long time, but also a mom, like you said. So I spent almost a decade homeschooling my kids during the week and then working on weekends as was a wedding photographer, got into weddings. Then I convinced my husband to build me my own wedding venue. He's a carpenter, and we got told no a lot when I went to the bank or the small business association, different things like that. Really had this dream to do it, and he believed in me so much that he was on board, and we sold our house, and we took the equity, and we had a friend owner finance us 20 acres in a little 90s trailer. It was pretty scary. Like if you drove into the yard, it looked a little rough, a little overgrown, a little gross. It had pink carpet and a corner jacuzzi tub, and it had been empty for a while. But we gutted it. We moved our 3 kids in, and, for 2 years on evenings and weekends, he built the chapel, the little white chapel that we have. And then when we had our first wedding, we had to get out. We couldn't live there on property because we needed to use that space for brides to get ready and everything. So we, moved, got a house in town in the little city center of Dardanelle near the river, and I'm naturally just somebody who likes to get involved and was really involved in my neighborhood. I love all my neighbors. Actually, my neighbors are like my family now. We eat together twice a week. We raise our kids together. We love each other. I love my neighborhood. I love my community and my people. And the person that was on city council in my ward, I saw on Facebook, he decided he wasn't going to run again. And I thought, maybe I could do that. And had a conversation with some people, talked to the mayor, and decided I'm going to do it. I'm going to throw my name in. I had to go door to door and get signatures to be able to put my name on the ballot. And so walked door to door, got the signatures that I needed, put my name in, and I've been serving for over 2 years now on the Dardanelle City Council. Learned a lot in this time and built a lot of really good relationships. And I love serving people, but I love also problem solving. I
Mm.
love to see, okay, we have a problem. Like when I talk to you here, if you're like, what about this? I'm like, let's think about that. Let's break it down. How can we fix it and find the best solution to find that problem?
Mm-hmm.
Just God geared me that way. And I had always been, you said I'm a political outsider, which yes, but an outsider as in I've been around it on the outside of it for a
Mm-hmm.
long time. I've been aware, I follow, I support candidates, I vote. I've always been really active in that, and have always kind of thought about the position of state representative and what they do. I've got to kind of go down to the Capitol and just listen in to different things and be around that world a little bit. And I love that they're solving issues that affect small businesses, that affect me, that affect my neighborhood, that on a local level, there's so many things that they tackle. And so our representative decided to retire. And I thought, let me pray about this. Like, let me just pray about it. And you said earlier, you said just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should.
Yep.
So I had that conversation with myself. I said, just because you can do this, Crystal, is this something you should do? So I prayed about it, talked to my close friends, talked to my husband, and my husband has actually been my biggest encourager and supporter in this. And he looked at me and he said, "You should do this. You should do it." And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Are you sure you're on board?" He's like, "Yeah." He just really thinks that the perspective that I have as a mom, as a business owner, as being just a real normal person,
Mm-hmm.
that that's what we need, people like me to go down there and to serve and to listen to people in our district and to say, what do you need and how can I fix it? And then go work and fix it. So that's kind of what got me here today with fear and trembling. I tell people it's with fear and trembling that to put yourself out there and to do this, but to say, I know I can do this job. I know I can serve people well. I love to meet people part of this job is they say campaigning, they're like, oh, get ready. You're going to have to be at all these events and talk to all these people. And I'm like, joke's on you. I love people. I love events. I love being with people and finding out things. That's one of the things I love about being in this community and getting to meet you. And I'm always finding somebody who is way smarter than me in something. And I feel like I'm collecting these people in my life who I know there will be resources in the future to help solve problems.
100%. I can't agree more. And being here at the hub is exactly like that. It's like there's so many talented
Yeah.
people. It's crazy. I used to think that Arkansas was boring growing up in high school. Everyone
Terrible
around me was
town.
like, "Oh, we're gonna move." So I don't know. That was just kind of the general vibe from
Sure.
people I was growing up with. And then at some point, I realized that there's a lot of stuff going on here. It's pretty interesting. A little weird, but
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
interesting. So, what do you think your district, which goes from Dardanelle all the way to
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, what do you think the biggest concern or problem is that you want to represent and help with?
I think there's a lot of different concerns. One that I hear a lot is really helping small business and bringing business in to the community. I go and visit with community members, and that's one thing I ask. I'm like, what do you need? What do you need from Little Rock? What do you need from your state representative? And sometimes it's we need help getting our water project approved so we can get this water system online so that we can bring in more industry. Because if
Mhm,
they don't have the capacity to have the water that the community needs, they can't bring in a big player to come in and to build a factory or to build something.
mhm,
So sometimes it's we need somebody to come help us, get these water systems in place, whether that's, working with calling up, different people to help with engineering or getting projects done.
mhm,
The other things though is just really trying to support local business and to grow it. There's so many great people here and they're raising their kids in the district. They love their community and then their kids grow up and they move off. They have to
mhm.
go like you said they're looking to go there's no jobs here to keep them here. And so I think one of the biggest issues that I see talking to people is trying to figure out how do we look to the future and how do we get industry? How do we get jobs? How do we get business and people to be able to thrive in District 52 so that our kids, as they grow up and they're learning all these skills and trades, they can actually stay in this area because it's the most beautiful district. I have to tell you, sorry. It just is. Like when I drive through, I don't have service a lot of the time while I'm driving, but I don't need it because I just drive in awe of how beautiful it is as I go from Dardanelle to Danville to Waldron. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
It is pretty. It is pretty drive. Is Boonville in District 52?
It's not.
No.
It's not. It's
Trying to
just cut off. I
place the
know.
geography in my head because
Yeah.
I haven't spent too much time down there, but I have a feeling I'll be doing more. I'm moving to Yale County here in the future.
What? You
Yeah.
are?
Yeah, I've got some land in Yale County.
Tal, I need
And
your vote. I need you to get over there before March 3rd.
that would be awesome if we were. That would be pretty great. But it's pretty down there. And
Oh,
Yale County I'll also like Pope County, but Yale County is different. And I've been told by people like Stacy, like what do they call it? The Free County?
the Free State of Yale.
The Free State of Yale.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that where I'm building, there's going to be no codes, no restrictions.
Yep.
I can build whatever I want. Nobody to
So
tell
when
me
I
I
built my
can't do it.
wedding venue,
Mm,
so we have land in the county. I called the courthouse. I called this, because I wanted to make sure I did everything right. I always try. I'm a rule follower. I try and find the rules and follow the rules. And I called and talked to the ladies at the courthouse, and I said, "What about permits for this? I'm wanting to build a wedding venue." And they're like, "There are no permits." I said, "There's not." They said, "It's your land. Do what you want with it." And I was like, yes, I love it. I love it. That's one of the things that I love about small government is that it let me build my dream and I didn't have to jump through a lot of bureaucracy and hoops and, those kind of things. So it's great. You still have to follow building codes, but you don't have to go through and beg permission to be able to do what you want to do.
yeah. So the role of a state representative, a
Mm,
lot of people don't know, and I'm not intimately familiar, but I imagine basically you listen to your people
mm,
and then you go to the Capitol and you try to push things forward that help
mhm.
those people and the problems they have. But like, what else is involved?
So we're a part-time legislature and they have session every other year. So there is an active session where they're looking at legislative legislation. And I believe, correct, like I hope I'm not wrong to say this, but I think that they can see up to 2,000 pieces of legislation per session. Does that sound about right? And to me that is daunting, right? To right when it's every other year, you got a lot of issues that you need to try and solve, and so you're working on helping to draft these bills and present these bills, sponsor these bills, and they can be a whole lot of different things. Whether it's getting fluoride out of drinking water, that was one they did. They passed a raw milk legislation where we can now buy raw milk, which I'm like here for. I'm so excited about that legislation.
Yep.
Um, they are doing things to help in the healthcare space or maternal health. I mean, it's so many things that they're trying to solve and a lot of common sense problems that they're trying to tackle. So you do a lot with talking to your district and saying, okay, what's the issue? Um, I met with somebody who's a PA in a hospital, and they're like, we need legislation to be able to see Medicaid patients as a PA. And then I found out, oh, they're working on that. You know that that's something that they're doing. There's issues that people come and they say, we need this. And so you work with your community, you work with people in Little Rock to try and figure out what's the best solution. And if it's something that you can legislate and to fix through the legislature, so that is a huge part. But also, you are really involved in your district with just meeting people, listening, trying to hear, helping when they need it. I know I've had to call representatives before when I had a problem, and I'm like, I don't know who to call. And so I'll call them and they'll say, okay, I know somebody that can help you with that. And they help connect, on a state level. So I think that a big part of the job is also building relationships locally, but also in Little Rock, so that when your mayors call you and they're like, we need this, we need help, you know who to call in Little Rock to say, hey, we got a problem in
Mhm.
District 52, and this is the problem, and we need help fixing it. And so hopefully, I get people that I can build those relationships with. They'll answer the phone when I call and they'll be ready to help. You write a lot of grants, you know,
Do
and
what?
you write a lot of grants,
What?
right?
No, I've just gotten a couple.
Okay, you
Uh,
do grants. You know,
very little, but yeah.
one part of being a representative is writing letters of support for really important grants in your district. So you need to have relationships with people and be able to say, okay, Tal's in my district. He's got this great opportunity for this grant to
Mhm,
do XYZ.
mhm.
And so, how can I help support you in that? Can I write a letter of support? Who do I need to talk? Those kind of things to try and help your district get those
Hmm,
grant dollars and be able to help your district.
interesting, that's good to know. Do you know Shannon Smith? She's the grant outreach coordinator with the House of Representatives in Little Rock. She
I
leads a grant team.
I don't know if I know her. I don't think I do.
Well, maybe we'll
I
we'll
know
have
I
Chris
need
introduce you
to.
sometime
Yeah.
because she's working with us right now to facilitate some grants. But I didn't know that letters of recommendation. That makes sense. But
Even on city council, I've written some letters of recommendation or been asked to write letters of recommendation for different projects or grants. So I think the more community members you can have to support something, the better it looks,
yeah,
you know,
well, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you're currently March 3rd. Is that
is
right?
the primary.
Is the
Yes.
primary. And then, so you're saying the legislator meets every other year. Is that just across all of Arkansas? Like all the
Yes.
representatives come together
The
every other
House
year?
and Senate have session. They have joint session every
Okay.
other year.
Is
Mhm.
that normal? Like, do
Mm.
some states do it every year, or is it pretty standard to do it every other?
I think it's fairly standard on a state level. I don't know though, honestly, I don't know. Um if other states do it every year or not.
So, in between the joint session, what does
Mhm.
a rep spend their time doing? Imagine they're probably a lot of them run a business.
Mhm.
Some of them run a business, so they're doing that. They're also
You still have a lot of committee meetings,
mhm,
um, ALC meetings, which is they like recently I went, so I'm on city council and the city of Dardanelle was audited. Okay. And there is a committee that is city, county, local. All right. And different representatives from the House and the Senate sit on this committee and they review the report of Dardanelle's audit.
Mm.
So they are overseeing, you know, a lot of different things and they'll meet periodically. I think they met last month and then they had met before in December before that. And they review all these audits that are going on. So you have other things that you're responsible for, things that you do, and meetings that you have in
Mm.
the when you're out of session, you're, depending on what you get appointed to or the different things that committees you're involved in, things like that. So there's
Mm.
always something going on. It's just not the everyday dusk to dawn,
Yep.
hustle and bustle of, or dawn to dusk, hustle and bustle of session.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. I'm
Mhm.
learning a lot. Before the last few months, I really haven't been involved in this world and slowly just been learning more and more.
Well,
So
I
it's
mean,
interesting to see how it all
there's a
works.
lot I'm learning.
And this is a paid position too. I imagine it's
It
not
is.
like an incredible amount. It's probably modest, but so you get the job.
Mhm.
It's kind of it's a full-time job, but it doesn't necessarily require you in an office 9 to 5. You get to roam the community and do what you do.
Yes, and I do think most legislators that I'm aware of also have a business or another job.
Yeah.
So they're typically, almost everyone I know of, if they're not retired or something, they also have another job or business that they do.
So, how do you think your experience on social media platforms like
Mm.
TikTok, because you've done
Mm-hmm.
very well on there with your business? Let's talk about that for a second, because you
Sure.
book your wedding venue
Mm-hmm.
through TikTok
Yeah.
from people all over the world or all over the country, right?
80% of our brides find me through TikTok. And so I built this wedding chapel, this little white chapel on a dirt road in the middle of Yale County, the free city, yeah, in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
And people are like, how are you going to get people to come and get married here? Because it definitely is, it's a whole vision. We're 70 people or less. We do small weddings. We're almost all inclusive, like we do for everybody. And so I had to figure out, okay, I have this product that I really believe in. I really believe in this venue and what we're doing. How do I let people know and how do I get people here? And I was one of the oldest ones on TikTok. Yeah, when I started, I'm like, I'm the mom that's, at the time, late 30s, sitting here making TikToks. And it was very much when all these teenagers were dancing,
Mhm.
on TikTok and doing, little, like, what do you call it? Where you
Like a dub or something?
yeah, you
Voice, yeah.
dub voices, like I don't even know the words. But anyways, that's what was on there, but that's not me. So I was like, I was not about to do that on TikTok. So I just started sharing behind the scenes and talking about my wedding venue and showing, like, here's what I'm doing. I'm setting this up. I'm doing, and showing the whole wedding from start to finish and how I did the flowers and how I set it all up. And it just took off. So I think in the past year or so, I think we've had over 22 million views on TikTok. And I just try to be really authentic and be myself and just show what we do. And I feel like when you're putting things out there on social media, you're gonna repel as many people as you attract.
Mhm.
Right. And so to me, it's this filter to find my bride, to find my person. So all I can be is me. I
Mhm.
tell people I put a lot out there because you're either going to love us or hate us. And I want you to know up front. And so by the time brides get to me and we're actually having a conversation, most of the time they're already sold. They're like, "Oh yeah." I had one tour, the bride and the groom were coming and they were wanting to see the venue and I start talking and the bride goes, "Oh, I've watched every one of your TikToks. This is just for him. Like, you go ahead and show him I know everything." And I loved it. I was like, "This is awesome." Because if you put it out there, you just give people the information and then they can look through and they can say, "Yep, this is for me," or "No, it's not." And it saves me having to weed those out in
Mhm.
person. So TikToks just took off. I also share, I do, like, I like to host, I like to cook. I'll do a recipe here or there or like one of my grandmother's recipes and share that on social media. And I just like it because, one, it's fun for me and it's something that if my kids want to make it someday, they can make it. But it just allows people to get to know me and connect with me
Mhm.
and yeah, see if they want to be a part of what we're doing or not. But I tell people, I said, I built this business in the middle of nowhere and just started sharing. And one of the big things too is people that live here don't realize what we have. We take for granted just how beautiful it is here. I mean, I love when all you techie people come out and do drone shots, of the venue because we're right in front of Mount Nebo. If you stand on our hill, you can see Mount Pettigene. We're literally in the middle of the Tri Peaks. So there's Pettigene, Nebo, and Magazine.
Mhm.
And we're kind of in the middle of those. And we have the Arkansas River, we have Lake Dardanelle, we have mountain biking, we have Dardanelle Rock, we have everything. So I had
Mhm.
a couple this last November. They came from Washington State and got married in Arkansas.
Wow.
They flew from Washington State and came all the way. They love to mountain bike. They like to be on the water. They like all those different things. And just showing it, they're like, this is a great destination for us. We're outdoorsy people. We like it. And so they came here to Dardanelle, Arkansas, and got married. And people are always surprised. But to me, I'm like, oh, it's all you got to do is show them how beautiful it is here, and they'll come.
Yep. Yeah, I think I heard Arkansas is the most moved to state per capita right now.
I did hear that last year.
So it's good thing. Hopefully it's not a bad thing. But
Well,
cat's out of the bag.
I think for our district it's really good because you have Northwest Arkansas, and I have a lot of friends up there. A lot of my college friends all got jobs and moved up to Northwest Arkansas,
Hmm.
and by 2030 it's supposed to hit like 1 million people.
Wow.
And there are lots of people who don't necessarily want to live with 1 million people.
Hmm.
We met a couple who they work for a huge corporation up there, and they bought a house here on Mount Nebo, and every Friday they tear out of Northwest Arkansas as quick as they can and they come and they spend the weekends here. And I think that there's a huge potential to strengthen our broadband internet, strengthen our infrastructure, and have these people that are super sharp that can work from anywhere and be like, hey, you love everything Northwest Arkansas has to offer. We have that, just less people. And there are a lot of people who are like, sign me up, get me out of here.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
I think Arkansas wholeheartedly is gonna. It already is, and it's just gonna go keep undergoing this massive transformation in terms of its infrastructure.
hmm
I mean, there's the whole lithium boom that's gonna happen.
we got to
That
find a lithium mine, Tal, in District 52. Think we can find one?
is,
How
well,
do
I
you
guess
find
hot.
How do you find a lithium mine?
I don't know how they find it. It's a
I
good
think if
question.
anybody could figure it out, you could figure out how to find one.
If
And
anyone
then
can,
let's see if we
it'll
have
be
one.
Christopher Grau. He'll figure it out. But we did find this weird report from like '58 saying that they believe there's uranium north of Hot Springs, which I guess would not be in your district. That's
I
probably too far
mean,
south.
mm, it depends on where north of Hot Springs you're talking about, because we're definitely just north of Hot Springs.
Yeah, so maybe uranium
Oh
there.
my gosh,
That'd
that'd be
be
awesome.
interesting. Um, whoever I was told, whoever can figure out what to do with all the nuclear waste will make a fortune. So maybe we'll figure out a way to like utilize the nuclear waste that
Okay,
they have at A&O that they
I love
reportedly
it.
ship. I don't know where they ship it to, but I guess they store some of it on prem and ship the rest out somewhere. I don't know.
There's somebody really smart that's working on that. We just need to find them.
Yeah.
Tell them to
And
come on.
that's the thing. So here's a definition of innovation that I've heard in the last few months.
Uh-huh.
I used to think innovation was like inventing things, right? Like if you invent something cool. But the way that when we were at this Encountering Innovation event held in Kansas City, they described it as innovation is taking old, currently existing tech or ideas and using them in new, novel ways. So it's not like inventing something. It's like
Hmm.
say you have all these techs, but you have this new problem over here, this old problem. If you can use this to fix this, that's innovation. So I bet there's nothing new under the sun. So I bet there's
Yeah.
somebody that's probably already figured out what to do with that waste, and maybe there's a way we could use it
Just
moving
needs to be
forward.
repurposed.
And I think the people to figure that out are actually already here. That's the cool thing. Like we got a new guy that just moved into the hub, who's doing podcasts out of here now. He's got an AI company.
He got married at my farm.
Really?
Yeah.
At your venue?
2 years ago. Yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Small world.
I know.
How
It's
did he
pretty
find you?
cool.
Was it TikTok?
His wife found me. I think actually she found me on Facebook. I knew her mom,
Okay.
but so it's
He's a really interesting guy, and
yeah, they're
just
super sharp.
yeah, more people like him. There's they're getting drawn. I guess you collect a group of people up,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a magnet for those other types of people.
Absolutely. It's synergy. You get together. That's one of the things I talk about, and I've talked with people, even in district, is I think all it takes is getting the people in the room. If you get enough people in the room that care about the district, you can say, hey, this is a problem I think I see. And then somebody goes, oh, I know a solution for that, or I know somebody. And it's just getting together and communicating and pulling your resources and saying, oh, yeah, we can do that. I can figure that out. There's so many sharp people that are just maybe in their own silo working. And if we just kind of get them together as community and talk it out,
Hmm.
that's one thing when I talk about problem solving, I like to find the best answer. And I know that I don't have all the pieces for that answer. I need to find as many people as I can that are smarter than me, get them together. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Ask the questions. And I am really good at asking questions. I'm not ashamed. I'm not afraid. I will ask because I want to understand as much as I can on my, level,
Hmm.
and then figure out, okay, what is this person good at? Okay, let me remember that. And when I need that, I'm going to reach out, and I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to talk to them. And that's one thing, like, I love connecting with you. I know there's been several times we've been sitting out here and I learned stuff just from going to get a cup of coffee and
Yep.
being like, what are you doing these days? What are you working on? What you got going? And then hearing about it. And you said, oh, yeah, you should look up this for grants. And I'm like, I'm on it, and I'm going to go search it and look it up. And it's just great information. The more you have, the more you can figure out, okay, I'm going to use that piece. It's a piece to a puzzle you put
Yep.
in your pocket. And at some point, you're going to need to pull it out and use it. So I
Oh yeah,
think a
definitely.
huge part of this job is just being willing to talk to people and learn. Always be willing to learn
Oh yeah.
something new.
They say information is the most valuable thing. If you have that, you can make moves. You can affect things, affect change. So speaking about affecting change, a lot of young
Mhm.
people will probably I don't know. I guess I'm not that demographic anymore. Got a few kids,
You're young.
but when I look at an 18, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, and they're a different
Okay.
species,
My oldest is 18.
they're
That's my
saying
oldest.
words that I don't understand.
Oh, I know them all. Loke. Have
Never
you
heard
heard
of it.
that one?
No,
Instead of saying low key, they're just saying loke.
they're just saying loke.
Loke. Instead of low key.
Okay.
There's your new one.
See, I've heard. I don't know. I have a 12-year-old brother, and I was making him cringe the other day because I was reading the list of his words and trying to put them in conversation.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't
I'm
know.
not allowed to use a lot of those words. My kids are like, no, mom, don't. I know. I'm like, listen, I'm really cool. I can say these things.
A lot of those college age students, they're going to feel a little
Mm.
bit disconnected, I assume, at least if they're still the same as they were a few years ago, disconnected with politics. Like they can't affect anything, they're out of the loop. It can feel like a
Mm.
pointless thing to care about. So, what do you think the future looks like there? How do we get more? It
Okay.
doesn't even necessarily a young
I
person,
might
just
push back
somebody.
on you a little bit on that.
Okay.
I kind of see now, maybe I think your age group, I think you're right on with your age group. But when I look at these 18, 19, 20-year olds, when I'm around my daughter, when I'm around her friends, they're pretty politically savvy. Like they're listening, they're watching this, and I am seeing a huge swell in these kids being very conservative.
Mm.
They are coming out like these high schoolers, these just out of high school. I'm seeing this wave, and I'm like, this is so exciting that these kids are really latching on to conservative values. And I saw in the last election with Trump, I think Trump won the election because of TikTok. I think that pushed him over with a young demographic, and TikTok and podcasting, going on Joe Rogan, going on Theo Vaughn, having a TikTok.
I didn't know he
There's
had a TikTok.
He
I'm not
does.
on TikTok, but yeah,
Oh
I
my
saw
gosh.
him on Rogan.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
not
When
going to
he
put the
went to
Chinese app on my
McDonald's,
phone. Sorry.
I get
If it
it.
gets bought by an American company, maybe. But even then, I am very. These are my views, not
Yeah.
yours. But I am very anti big tech, 100%.
Yeah.
So I envision a world where, sure, there's still platforms to communicate and be creative
Hmm.
on, but they're not controlled by the big boys because they're manipulating us, 100%. But that's my view. Not yours, but yeah, big tech is
Yeah.
kind of my adversary in a lot of ways. So I'm trying to. I'm actually like actively pruning myself off the internet. to a degree. Like my face is
Yeah.
out there, a lot of videos. That's fine. But yeah,
I think we'll see that. I think we'll see this next generation either be like so involved in technology that they practically are cyborg, or completely reject it altogether and like get rid of technology,
yeah,
go back to nature, communities, third places. I think we'll see a huge surge in those things. I can see it going both ways. For me, I use it as a tool. I understand for the first couple years, I had a separate entire phone for social media, for TikTok.
really.
Yeah, I had a separate phone. I didn't log in,
Hmm.
all those kind of things, to try and add an extra safeguard and to try and kind of, just not know what you don't, I don't know what I don't know and try and be careful of
Yeah,
those things. So I totally understand. It is such a hard balance between running a business and wanting to have information and
yeah.
get
Great tool.
information. And, do I necessarily trust the nightly news on cable? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
so it's nice to have more more ways to consume information, whether it's a podcast or a
I
TikTok or
100% I agree. Like the information part of it is great. And what I've seen in my circles, I went to school for IT, so I'm always around the nerds. We love technology. What I've seen though is that the more you get into it, there's this trend where if you're really into it, especially at the maybe the cyber defense level, cybersecurity level, you're looking at things. A lot of these guys will end up homesteading. Like they're still
oh,
involved with their
yeah,
jobs, but then they like in their own lives, they're unplugging as much as they can. They're
yeah.
living on a farm, just like, and that's what I want to do. That's where I'm going because I don't know. I grew up with the internet. I was born in '98, so I like to say I'm half Gen Z, half millennial because my brother is full Gen Z, and there's a difference I think in just our culture and
Hmm.
and lexicon and words and everything. But 2010, I was 12 years old. YouTube was getting big. The internet was cool. It was fun. Maybe that's just rose tinted glasses of being young, but it felt friendly. And
Hmm.
now it's like super uh, monetized.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's all about how much information can they abstract from you and sell,
Right.
which has real
You
world
are the
impact.
product.
Yeah. If it's
You
free,
are the
you're the
product.
product.
Hmm.
If it's free, you're the product. And then there's just this whole, I don't know, the world's different now. I was I also don't like been trying to eat healthier. We were
Yeah,
talking about raw milk. I love raw milk.
yeah.
So I don't eat at McDonald's anymore, but you can see pictures of McDonald's over the years. I saw this picture a couple days ago, like in the '90s. It's like a fun building.
Yeah, it's where we had our birthday parties in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know,
And
you
then 2000s, it's still looking fun, the red roof. And then now it's like a gray
gray.
box. And
Yeah,
that's everything. That's not just McDonald's. It's like all the big, I don't know why, but
that's
everyone's kind of
interesting.
gone gray.
Yeah, communist gray or something. It's
Yeah.
terrible. Um,
So China is embedded in this country's infrastructure.
mhm.
Um, Something I wanted to bring. You brought up water plants, or water facilities. What are the
Yeah.
major water sources you're aware of in your district? Like, are there any aquifers or? I don't think there's a big river that go. I mean, there would be.
I mean the Arkansas River, but right now Dardanelle
Oh yeah,
doesn't use the Arkansas River water. I mean that's one thing the city has talked about. I think that there is a way to use it, but there's obstacles in the way. So it's
I'm
groundwater
gonna
that they
look up
use.
District 52, Arkansas. Is there a map somewhere?
Mhm.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
pull this up.
I tell you look on my social media, but you're not on there. So,
I have Facebook still.
yeah.
Facebook is one of those things that I didn't have it for a long time. I never used it. And then I started skydiving in Clarksville, and that's what they used to communicate. Like, hey, we're open today, we're not open today.
Yeah.
So that got me back on, and then a business locally. So this whole
They
thing,
lured
well,
you
this
back
isn't what I'm
in.
looking at. That's like a congressional district. Those are really big. Oh, this might be it.
Yeah. It's geographically fairly big. Nothing like the district that is, Russellville. It's very geographically smaller.
Is it based on population?
Mhm.
See, it
Yeah,
says state representative.
they redistrict every 10 years when they do the census.
Oh, here we go. I had to scroll down. I was like, I only see 4 districts. So you're in 52.
52.
Okay, here we go.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. See, I was thinking it went south, and it does go south of the river. But y'all have got a lake. What is it? What lake is Blue Mountain Lake?
We got
And
a lot.
then you're on the river, but then it goes down. Yeah, it is a huge area.
Scott County
So
has
much time
beautiful
do you spend
lakes.
driving?
From Dardanelle to Waldron, it takes me about an hour. It's like no big deal. It's
How big
beautiful.
is Waldron? Looks fairly large, but
Yeah, no, like population size, I want to say it's around 4,000. Can
oh wow.
somebody correct me if I'm wrong there? Because I don't want to. That's the city of Waldron, but there's a lot of people that live early in the district.
Gotcha. Yeah. That is a large area. We'll put a
Hmm.
graphic of that up somewhere or down
Yeah,
below. But the reason I brought up water is something that's come to my attention fairly recently is these data centers you hear about
yeah,
popping
yeah.
up everywhere. They
A
require
lot of
a
water.
lot of water.
They do.
So are there any data centers in your district right now?
Not right now, but I would love to see the potential of that. Now, here's the thing. This is an issue that is a hot topic because a few years ago, like when I was on city council, we were all like pushed to pass ordinances about against, when Bitcoin mining was really becoming a thing. Mining facilities, now you know way more about this than me. So you just correct me everywhere I'm wrong here.
Not much more, I'm sure.
But the things that we had heard about the mining facilities is how loud and noisy they are, how much water they take, all these
Mhm.
kind of things, and that they can become nuisances to their communities. And so we passed some ordinances about noise and things like that. But my understanding with data centers is that it's something very different. And so I don't know the extent of water that a data center uses in comparison to like Bitcoin mining. But the noise is supposed to be way less, that we're talking about 2 different things, but I think they can kinda get lumped in together because it's like that technology place.
Yep.
But, I've heard that the data centers are very different from the mining. I don't know if you're familiar with any of that. But any
I'm
business, I mean,
yeah.
like, we have a lot of chicken processing plants and chicken facilities in our district. I mean, in the city of Darnell, we provide water to Tyson, and that's our largest client, and it's huge for water. I mean, they're constantly running millions of gallons of water through Tyson. So, any industry is going to require some level of water.
Mhm.
So it's so important to have that ready so that if businesses can't, businesses
Yeah.
want to come, that you got the grid to handle it, and you got the water to handle it.
Yeah. Something you as just a regular person you don't really think about, like water, but have you ever seen the Book of Eli?
The movie, is that Will Smith?
No, it's Denzel
Oh,
Washington.
Denzel Washington.
Water. That's a main thing in the
I
movie. It's
I
like
don't know if I've seen the
who
movie,
controls
just
the water?
maybe clips.
Yeah. That's a good movie.
One thing my husband and I looked up though, I get water from hot springs. We do Mountain Valley water. We have like, the little spigot. Because I love spring water. I love to drink spring water. It's one of my things. And I want to see, could on our land, would we have the opportunity to dig like a really deep artesian well, and
Mm.
we've just kind of done a tiny bit of research, but he was looking, and I don't think the aquifer is gonna be the same as like what you could get in hot springs or something. But I would love to figure out, like, could we go deep enough to get some really great mineral or artesian spring water right here? I would
Yeah.
love to do that.
That'd be cool. My well, I won't say that because that would indicate where I'm going to be living at. I don't want to put that out on the internet.
Oh yeah.
There might be some sources of water like that nearby. That'll be cool.
And when I say that, I'm like, somebody that's in that world is probably like, oh my gosh, she's an idiot. They don't have that kind of water. I'm just saying I don't know, but I would love to know if it was a possibility to get some really great water.
Yeah. So this is a little off topic, but that raw milk legislation
Mm.
that was passed, can they sell in all stores now or just farmers markets? Do you know?
Um, I'm not sure on that. I would need to get back to you on the requirements of what that is. I do know that there are some people selling in some stores, but it's like a consignment
Yeah.
um
Yeah, I'm aware of that
situation.
too. And
Yeah.
of course, there's the old pet milk. Loophole.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just for your pets.
This is only for your pets.
Do not drink. Not for human consumption.
Yeah.
Um, but it'll be interesting. And the fact that you've, like you mentioned at the beginning of this, the word political outsider. You said you've kind of been observing and you've been involved
Mhm.
at the city council, but you're also taking this approach of just remaining authentic,
Mm.
like just not changing,
Yeah.
because I've been told this game can change you. In fact, I was talking with my grandpa
Mm.
yesterday and we were talking about politicians, and he used to be the sheriff in Pope County for 6 years. He said, which he came at it. There's different kinds of sheriffs, right? There's the kind that like grow up in law enforcement. They
Mhm.
take the job out of necessity, which is what he did. It was just to stop his opponent from running, um, or winning, I guess. And then there's the politician sheriff, or the
Mhm.
politician judge, or whatever, and that's fine, whatever. But he said politics can change a person for the
Sure.
worse sometimes, maybe for the better too. But
Well, and I think, in fairness, sometimes it's because you just get so beat up. I think that some people that have been through this, you put yourself out there. And if you've got kids still in school and maybe you're running a piece of legislation that some people don't like, and then your kids have to go to school and hear about it and what a terrible person you are and how dare you run this legislation, it can make you really guarded and make you honestly afraid to put your personal things out there because they're all like they'll be under attack just
mm-hmm,
for sharing that. So I understand to some level of it changing you is in just like you as you find out more in your field, you're online less and less. I think the more you find out in politics, you can see yourself pull back. And that may happen to me. I don't know. As far as right now, I'm a very open person. I've been sharing on TikTok. I'm very authentic. I'm an open book. I share a lot on social media, and I take some beatings. I mean, people will be like, don't you want to get that mole removed on your forehead? In the comments. And my husband, I told him, I said, oh my gosh, I just laughed about it. I said, they told me to go get this mole removed. He said, there's a mole on your forehead. And I'm like, yeah. um, you had to have tough skin. And I think for me,
mm-hmm.
ultimately, the thing I have to remind myself, like before I even came in here this morning, I was doing a Bible study. I think you have to be grounded in who God is and who God has made you.
Mm-hmm.
And so remembering that this is not about me. It's not about me, it's about him, but also do I feel secure in myself with the Lord enough to be able to take whatever gets thrown at me? That's hard to say because man, it's hard if they come after, if they tried to say I was a bad mom or, those things would really hurt. They would hurt me and probably get me riled up real quick. But that's part of it is to say, okay, like even when I put myself out there on TikTok, if you're going to talk about my looks or whatever, I just laugh because ultimately I like myself. I feel good about me. I like me. I like what I like. I like my family. I like my life. I like my husband. So I'm not going to be shaken
Mm-hmm.
with those kind of things. But I can understand people putting themselves out there and just maybe getting disappointed in people, maybe people that you really loved and trusted. And then you find out that they're saying horrible things about you. So I don't
Yeah,
know if that's the kind of change you talk about when seeing people change in politics, but I can give people a lot of grace because I can see out of necessity pulling back and maybe protecting yourself.
I've been making videos for 12 or 13, 14 years. Started making videos as a young teenager, playing video games. You catch your fair share of random internet hate.
Hmm.
So you do grow thick skin, but it's kind of like walking barefoot. I don't know if you do much of that, but
Yeah.
your feet will get tough over time.
Yeah. My husband is like, he makes fun that I'm wearing shoes when I'm not wearing shoes. Yeah. I walk around barefoot a lot.
Yeah.
My
But
feet
if you
show.
stop doing it, eventually your feet will get weak
Oh,
again.
yeah.
So you gotta, it's just kind of like tough skin. You got to keep the
Yes.
exposure up. And yeah, most people you come across, they're not true friends. I mean, at least for me, like I have a few true close friends that
Mhm.
I would trust no matter what. And then there's people that, yeah, I'm friends with, but everyone's human. Like if it push came to shove, if it was me or them, they're going to choose them, and that's fine. Like
Mhm.
humans can only have a small tribe, I think, to a degree. So yeah, I think it'd probably be important not to put too much stock in what other people think of you, because that's going to change with the wind, especially if they don't know you very well. There might come a you might be on the news one day of like some legislation you're pushing that you believe in, is right, but I disagree with it, or someone else
Mhm.
disagrees with it. Social media is just it's also encouraged people to not look too much into things. Just kind of take the headline
Uh-huh, yeah. You
for
just take the
granted.
little Facebook post and run with it like, "Oh, this is truth." I recently had a situation where I posted something on Facebook, someone else posted, and I just picked up the phone and called them. And I was like, "Hey, I know we disagree on this, but I can still love and respect you. And I want to be allies. I want to be friends." And I think is one thing that is kind of lost in at least national politics is you see such this dichotomy and you have people that are just, "If you don't agree with me, I hate you."
Yep.
And that's first of all, that's not how God would want me to be and how I should act. But the fact is that if you're elected to this position, you're here to serve everybody, not just the people that agree with you,
Mhm.
and I think you have to have a lot of grace and be ready to listen to people who are going to run you ragged or maybe disagree with you, but you have to say, "You know what? I respect you as a person.
Mhm.
We're people, these are ideas, we can discuss it." I have people that tell me, "I'm going to hurt your feelings." I say, "Well, probably not. I don't get my feelings hurt very easy. I'm pretty tough. If you want to have a conversation, you want to tell me something hard, I'm like, okay, I'm here for it because I want to be able to fix it. And I can't fix it if we can't have the conversation and talk about it." I've been so doing this process. I'm a believer, and I'm like, just prayed. I'm like, "God, would you please give me favor? Like, give me favor with people. Like, when I go into meetings, I want to connect with these people." And I just ask for favor because I don't want to not have it because I didn't ask. But I was reading in my Bible study this morning. I'm going through the book of Luke, and it was the beginning of Luke when the angel visits Mary and said, "Oh, blessed are you. You are highly favored by God." And I was so convicted because in all this time I pray, "God, give me favor in this podcast, give me favor with this." And how often do I pray and say, "God, I want to be favored by you"? How often do I just say, "God, let me start my day being in favor with you"? And that's above everything. That I don't care at the end of the day if I'm in right standing with you, I care if I'm in right standing with God.
Mhm.
And I think in this position, I have to be in the word, prayed up, ready, because it is so easy to want to please people and to want to sit here and make you happy. But at the end of the day, I have to face, my savior, and I have to say, did I do what was right by him? Am I favored by him? And that's really been convicting me because it is so easy to seek the approval of man. So,
Yeah.
also going back to the politician thing, I have a lot of grace because there's a lot of people that are in front of you demanding a lot. I'm in meetings right now and people are like, "You got to do this. You got to do this. You're behind. You're in." And I listen and I want to be respectful. But at the end of the day, I have to say, okay, this person is telling me this because they love me, because they want me to win. But I don't necessarily have to do everything that they say. And I don't have to do it their way. At the end of the day, I have to do it my way and what I feel like the way I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
There's a good friend of mine who had a hard childhood, um, like just abusive father, that kind of situation.
mhm.
So he told me he learned very early on that every word he says, he'll bleed for. Like if he says something, he will physically bleed for it
Oh my
because of that
gosh.
experience. So he decided at some point in his life, it might as well be the truth. I'm going to bleed for it either way.
Mm,
So it might as well be the truth.
wow.
So I have not had an upbringing like that,
Mm,
thankfully, but I've been trying to adopt that same sort of mentality. It's like, in a way, maybe it's metaphorical in my case, but I'm going to bleed for what I say. I'm going to have to pay the consequences, good or bad. So it might as well be the truth because
mm.
no point to bleed for a lie. Um,
Well, and I think it's a balance. I tell my kids because, you know, I have one that I had this conversation. She's in middle school, and you couldn't pay me to be a middle school girl. Not going back ever. But um, we had the conversation of just because it's true doesn't always mean we need to say it. We need to say, is this also kind? Now, sometimes you got to speak the truth, and um, I've had a pastor one time, and he always said, truth without love is harshness. Love without truth is compromise. And so you have to find the balance between
Mm,
loving people and then also giving them truth. Because you can love somebody and never give them the truth, and that you're not being their friend.
mm.
As a mom, I have to tell my kids the truth, and sometimes it's kicking their butt, but it's because I love them. But you can also have so much truth and harshness that there's no love there.
Good to find that balance for sure.
Hmm.
I've probably done different points in my life, been on both extremes.
I mean,
So you
yeah.
just got to balance out.
Oh, yeah. It's really hard. Try and find the times where you can show love and try, and then, also offer the truth. I've had to have hard conversations with people, and people have had to have hard conversations with me. But I think that that ultimately shows how much they love you. I tell my kids, if I didn't love you, I wouldn't care what you did. You
Mm.
know, I'd let you act however, but I love you, and I'm not going to let you act like that.
Do you feel like being a mom has prepared you for what's coming next?
I think that being a mom has helped make me who I am. So regardless of whatever the future looks like, I had a conversation with a gentleman who ran political office, was in office for like 25 years, 24 years. And I said, how'd you win? How'd you win all those times? How'd you do it? He said, by being me. And I thought that was one of the best pieces of advice I ever had. All I can be is me. So whatever God has for me, he's brought me to this point, and being a mom is in my DNA. I've been a mom for 18 years, and so I do think it helps prepare me because it helps me to say, okay, what advice would I give my kids? What advice would I give my girls here? And who do I want them to look up to? Who do I want them to, see me as? And so I do think, yeah, it does. It helps me be prepared, and also I think gives me a perspective that, you know, maybe not everybody in politics has.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I do the grocery shopping, I do the cooking, I do, run it, doing the mom things. And some dads do those things. And I have a husband who is like the best partner ever. He never tells me I don't do that. That's not my job. I tease him. I never take the trash out. I do, but I'll be like, that's not my job. That's your job. Those kind of things. But I think that it gives me a perspective of knowing what grocery costs are, and
Hmm.
having to do a budget. And then when we talk about healthy food, like as a mom, that really, really concerns me. I want to feed my kids healthy food, and it is so hard.
Yeah.
It is so hard. I was having this conversation with somebody recently, and I'm like, listen, if you offer kids a glass of water and a glass of Mountain Dew, the Mountain Dew has been chemically altered to be addictive by the best scientists in the world. Like, as a mom, I'm fighting against the most the most money, the most like funded research into making that chemically addictive. One of the things they're talking about now is with Ozempic and all of the, different weight loss shots. These food manufacturers are trying to come up with ways to override the Ozempic.
Really?
Yeah, to make food addictive where they'll still eat even though they're on this, weight loss drug. And I'm like, this is what we're up against as moms.
Wow.
Like, this is not helping me. This is hard. And we have to have hard conversations with our kids and say, hey, we're going to choose water. We're going to choose this. And of course, they're like, no, mom, we want the whatever, the sugar. And I'm like, it's because I love you and it's because of this. But so I'm very passionate about healthy food for kids, and just access to it. I'm not saying you have to do it. Like, you can choose for your life and your family what you want to choose, but like, help mom out. One of the things that made me kind of crazy was during COVID. Um, they offered a lot of free food to kids, right? At school, because they wanted to make sure that kids were getting food, and maybe they were in food insecurity. And so they offered a second breakfast. Like they were all hobbits or something. They're like, we have a second breakfast at 9:30. And I was like, oh, I asked my kids, I was like, what do they have for second breakfast? And it was pre-packaged cinnamon rolls with like 40 grams of sugar.
Yeah.
And that was their second breakfast. And so they're gonna go eat a couple processed cinnamon rolls and then try and go focus in class.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing to me? Like,
Yeah.
as a mom, I have to be the bad mom who's like, "Please don't eat the cinnamon rolls at school that they're giving to you for free and everyone else in your class is eating," you
Yep.
know? Because it's gonna be
It's it,
so hard.
everyone around them gives them the poison. I call it poison. Some
Yeah.
people get mad at me. They're like, "You're too harsh." Maybe I am a little too harsh, but it's poison. I just
Well, science is
and
on your
that being
side.
said, I'm no better than anyone else. Sometimes I partake in the poison because
Oh,
it
yeah.
is engineered to addict you.
Oh, yeah.
But
I love a good birthday cake. I'm gonna make my babies a birthday cake. Like, I'm gonna make them a birthday cake and have them something special, and, there's always fun little treats and
yeah,
things. But when
I,
it's everywhere all the time,
yeah,
it's hard.
yeah. It's like you might give your kid a cookie, but then it's it's like the next day and the day after that, the day after that, the day after that, other people are giving them cookies. It's like, man, there's just cookies every day, and it's not. Don't get- Okay, let me say this too. Humanity or society has got really concerned with calories.
Yeah.
That's always something I heard as I was trying to lose weight
Mhm.
because I used to be about 30, 40 pounds heavier. It's like worry about the calories. And yeah, I get that. But also, what I found to be more helpful is like, what are the ingredients? If you can have food with less
Yeah.
ingredients, like instead of 30, what if it just had three? Because there's cookies with three
Yep.
ingredients, four ingredients.
Sure.
It's like that is, um, those are good for you because they're real ingredients, not
Yeah. Your
chemicals from a
body actually
lab.
knows how to process those.
Yeah. And there's just a bunch of interesting studies and research I've read recently about calories. It's like, yeah, there are you do have to, if you want to lose weight or maintain your weight, you have to consume less or the same that you burn, but not all calories are made equal.
For sure.
So there's some that just process faster, process better, don't hang around, whatever it
Mhm.
might be. So not to get nationally political because honestly, I could talk all day about it and find things that I
Well,
disagree with and agree with.
sidebar on that conversation, I've started milling my own wheat.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And, I love it, and I've gone down that rabbit hole of wheat and freshly milled wheat versus shelf stable. It's really interesting.
The enriched
Mhm.
stuff,
And we've
fortified.
lived we've lived overseas with you would go to the grocery store and buy bread, and it was bad in 3 days sitting on your counter. And then you come back here and you buy bread, and 7, 8, 9, 10 days later, the bread's still looking good, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, what is the difference here?" And, so, yeah, trying to mill my own wheat, bake bread for our house.
It's something I'd love to see Arkansas continue to do is like food freedom because a lot of our
Yeah.
food is controlled. It's like you're not allowed to sell milk. Well, now I guess we can, but
Yeah.
you're not allowed to sell this stuff, because of
Nationally, I would
safety.
love to see there's a lot of things, which this is a whole nother topic of conversation, but there's a bill you need to look up called the Prime Act, where it allows local meat processors to have more freedom in selling their meat to local people. And there's a lot to that, but I am all on board. I don't know how we as a country got to a point where the government said, I can't buy meat or milk from my neighbor. That's what my grandparents did.
It's
I
all the
mean,
money.
my grandmother went to the local dairy. They raised all their own meat. And if they didn't, they went to the neighbor and they traded, or they got, they all had local food that they got from their neighbors, you know? And I don't know how we got to a point where we can't just go buy good quality food from our neighbors.
Money. It's, I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you whose money it was, but well, I can't. It's probably it's the big companies, right? Because they make money from not letting that stuff happen. It's unfortunate, but I think I think people are waking up
I
overall.
agree.
Like I think there's a trend of just more awareness,
Hmm.
which is good because there's a lot of things that people need to be aware of.
I can remember, so I'll be married 20 years this month. July 16th, 20 years we've been married. And I can remember when we first got married, making the big change in not using margarine. Because my family, growing up, it was like always margarine that you bought. And I was like, I read something in research and it was like, no, you need to use real butter. And so I remember vividly like being young, married, making the change. I mean, like in my house, we're going to use real butter, and
Yep.
kind of going from that as that process has kind of come through the years. I do think more and more people are waking up and are aware. And we do the best we can with the information that we have, like as moms. I don't begrudge any mom. Listen, it is hard. That's what I'm saying. It is so hard to feed your kids healthy food. I think we need better solutions as a society,
Mm.
because to do it now, if you go to the grocery store and you start just reading boxes, you're like, I can't buy anything here. Like there's always something, and it is exhausting. And then sometimes my mom friends and I, we joke, it's like it's a full-time job to meal prep for your family and try and have healthy food for them. And I just don't think it should be this hard. I think we should try as a society to try and help. One thing I love, I just shared on Facebook yesterday, the governor is doing a program with a prison in Marion where they are growing the inmates are growing food for a local school.
Really?
And I love it. I am so excited. I'm like, this is exactly. And then whatever the school doesn't use, they can donate to a food bank. I'm like, this is common sense, like great solutions that help as a society. It gives the inmates purpose,
Mm.
right? And there's just something so powerful about putting your hands in the dirt and growing things. It is the most healing spiritual act I think we can do, like as far as labor, is to get out and stick your hands in the dirt and grow something. But then you have it feeding kids
Mm.
in a school, and then what's not used there, it goes on to your food bank. And that, I'm so excited about that.
That's pretty cool. So if there's one message you would like the listeners to walk away with from listening to this conversation,
Hmm.
one main thing, what would it be?
All I can do, I tell people, I feel like as I'm running for this position for state representative for District 52, all I can do is try and look people in the eye and let them get to know me. Get to know me as a person, be as authentic and real as I can be. And at the end of the day, they have to go to the polls and vote for the person they think represents them the best and that will do the job well. And so I can't tell voters, who that is. I want them
Mm.
to pick me. I want them to vote for me. But all I can do is say, here I am, get to know me. This is what I stand for. This is how I will work hard for you. I will serve you, and hope that they'll choose to vote for me.
Well, everybody, you've hopefully got to look into Crystal. Is it Malloy or Molloy?
Malloy.
Malloy, that's what I thought.
Rhymes with boy. Malloy.
Malloy.
Everybody calls me Miss Mallory because you just naturally add an R in there, but
Yeah.
it's Malloy.
Hopefully you've gotten a good look at how she is, and yeah, I'm sure if they're in your district, they're going to see you around.
Yeah,
if
follow
they get out.
along.
What's your TikTok and your socials?
So for the state rep, I'll give you the Instagram. You can put it up with the notes, and the Facebook, and then hopefully have a website really soon.
Yep, you got someone working on that. Well, all right. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by our partners and collaborators in the Arkansas River Valley. If you've enjoyed this episode, visit rvtownsquare.com. Give us an email, a text, a call. Let us know who you want to see on the show next. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.